So good afternoon, all of you. So what you were discussing yesterday, can anybody tell me? Yes, who is writing? Show me your notebook. Oh, your handwriting is exclusive. Acha. Okay, we have seen the value conflict. Now write the conflict between ethics and morality. Conflict between ethics and... We have finished. Value conflicts liya hoga. Okay, we have done with it. Okay, fine. Huh? Brief idea, okay. Okay, let me see what all you have learned. Okay, so here basically, in case of conflict between ethics and morality, see first, how you have defined ethics. Ethics is both. First we'll discuss both. Ethics and morality are the standards of right and wrong. Okay, principles of right and wrong or standards of right and wrong. Ethics is more societal in orientation. Okay, and morality is more individual orientation. Individual orientation. Now, there can be a conflict with respect to what you think at individual level is right, and it has, maybe the society do not approve of it. Or you think that there are certain things in society which you think are not morally correct, although this society justifies. Now, this society can be in the form of that it can be a religion, religious values, it can be an organizational and professional values, or it can be society's some customary practices, etc. So at many time, it can happen that your individual thing may not match with the society. At some time, it's not all the time. Maximum number of times we have seen that ethics through the socialization, okay, inculcate the values and therefore they become a part of morals. Okay, so maximum number of time, because individual and every single person, that is man is a social animal, therefore whenever he takes the birth, he undergoes through the process of socialization, and through the process of socialization, whatever the good values that are there in the society are getting inculcated. So maximum, that is, you can say that 90 to 90% of the times, what society hold goods, we also hold that thing as a good thing in life. But sometimes it may happen that conflict arise. So first you should discuss this. Both are the components of right and wrong. Ethics is more societal and external to individual, whereas moral is internal to individual. Then you should mention that there is an essential link between the two, because through the process of socialization, that societal values get imbibed in an individual, and therefore individual morals and societal morals are almost similar in most of the cases. Then this was the introduction. Then you come up with the conflict. What are the situations where you can face the conflict between the ethics and morality? And in such conflicts, whether we should get the ethics as an upper hand or whether the morality should prevail in all such cases. Now, their answer cannot be either ethics or morality, depending upon the situation, depending upon the context, depending upon what kind of issue that has been raised. At times, you have to give preference to the ethics, or other times you have to give preference to the morality. Now we'll see that some of the cases. First we'll see the cases where the ethics will have an upper hand over the morals or the morality. Ethics have an upper hand over the morality. Yesterday I have explained this part. Isn't it? Okay, the case of doctor I have mentioned. Do you remember? Okay. If a doctor at individual level think that he should not help the antisocial person, but in such cases your professional ethics, okay, will guide you. So your professional ethics will guide you, and therefore you need to observe. Here there is a medical ethics. Medical ethics says that every person who is injured is a sort of a patient and you should extend him or render him a medical service. Okay, so here the whatever exists, your individual perception with respect to an individual should not come, but the ethics should prevail. Then I have given you the example of lawyer also. Okay, that is a defense lawyer. Defense lawyer. And third, you can think of the civil servant. Say, for example, civil servant joins the administration. Whenever he joins the administration, then there is a administrative ethics. Okay, administrative ethics in the form of code of conduct. There are certain code of conduct and code of ethics. These are called part of the administrative ethics. So once you become a civil servant, you are supposed to follow or take the orders of the administration. That is called as the administrative ethics. Now in such cases, one example can be given here. At your personal life, you may have certain political ideology. You may be upholding the values, some political values. Let's say example, you favor socialism, or you favor capitalism, or you favor one political party over the other. You have a leanings rightist or leftist, whatever the case is. But once you join the organization, okay, you have to remain impartial. Okay, you cannot bring your individual ideology here. Okay, you have to be political impartiality, जिसको बोलते हैं. Political impartiality, or it is called as neutrality. Neutrality and political impartiality will be your guiding principle. There are many of the guiding principles, but one of the principle is political neutrality and impartiality. It means that you should not favor and disfavor any particular person based upon your political ideology, because here the professional ethics comes into picture. So likewise, you can extend this philosophy on any profession where you are joined. Now this does not also mean, okay, to conclude us that if anything wrong is happening within the organization, should the individual remain silent. So this is a different from value conflict. In second case, where the organization will be doing something wrong, this means whatever the organization must have promised, they themselves are not adhering to those values. There is something fraud happening, something corruption happening within the organization, and they are not working in the larger interest of society. What they have promised for the country, for the nation, for the society, for the consumer, for customer, they themselves are not abiding their principles. In such cases, the organization themselves are not following the ethical standards. In such cases, obviously, the individual, based upon his conscience, can raise this particular issue. This is called as the whistleblowing. Okay, it's called as a whistleblowing. So what you are adhere to and what you are not adhere to, you should be very particular about it. Whistleblower, such people are called as whistleblower, or the act of whistleblowing. That is exposing the wrongdoings within the organization. This is based upon your conscience. This is based upon the larger public interest. So even when you have, but here the larger point we wanted to see, as long as organization and profession are following their own principles, you are abide by those organizational and professional principles. That's the first part. Okay, so whenever there is a conflict that happens. Now let's see the second aspect, where morality at times may get an upper hand over the ethics. Okay, are there any situation where an individual morality should get an upper hand over the ethics? Yes, I must have discussed some examples yesterday. Yes, wherever, see, if there is a practice of untouchability, okay, the person can question, so obviously the practicing untouchability is a wrong thing to do. Then there are various issues with respect to women in India, okay, in case of Hinduism, dowry hai, yes, of course, the dowry, you can question the dowry. Then temple entry, okay, so you can question that there cannot be a discrimination, gender discrimination, triple talaq, okay, that you can question. So there are various customary practices which restrict the freedom of women in India, or which are issues of gender discrimination. So obviously these questions can be raised. Case of LGBT, okay, wherein they also can raise against the settled norms of the society based upon their particular personal experience. Is any other things that you can think of? See, there are two things here. Broadly, that religious and customary practices and laws. You can question both, but in democratic countries, okay, laws are formed through the due process. So there is not a much scope of challenging it. It also does not mean that you can never challenge the law. You can still challenge the law. See, for example, Section 377 is law only, criminalizing the LGBT. So, of course, you can question that. 66A, I have mentioned, AFSPA, Armed Forces Special Power Act. Okay, so such kind of the act, personal law boards. Okay, so there are various practices which are prevailing in the personal law board which are discriminatory in nature, such as in case of Muslims there is a triple talaq. Okay, so you can, but obviously you need to be a very strong when you are arguing against the law, which aspect of the law, only for the sake of questioning your concrete, then there is no basis for it. There has to be a concrete basis on the basis of which you are questioning. I have given the example of Gandhi and Martin Luther King. So here, when we discuss, there are certain examples in the history. Here, there are certain examples in the history. Here, examples are Rajaram Mohan Rai, or for that matter, all the social reformers here. Okay, social reformers were some or the other way challenging the paradigm, okay, settled paradigm in their times. Caste discrimination, gender discrimination, okay, different customary practices, and laws were challenged, as I have explained. Martin Luther King hai, Henry David Thoreau hai, Gandhi hai, various issues where you will see that people have challenged the law. This is the case of the civil disobedience, okay. So you can discuss this way, and in conclusion you can write that ultimately the modern constitutional and legal values should be the basis for ethical guidelines or the moral guidelines. Anything that can conflict with these guidelines should be questioned, and therefore there has to be a harmony between the two. Yes, now let's discuss. Write some more points with regard to values. Values का types of values करके एक लिख लो. Types of values. Because yesterday we have done values, ethics, morality, their simple meaning and their interrelationship. Okay, तो थोड़ा सा और एक part है उसमें types of values. Okay. Now this type of values is depending upon the degree of importance that one attach with respect to the values. Okay, this classification that we are going to see is depending on the degree of importance that one attaches with respect to the values. So values can be divided into two parts, okay, depending upon degree of importance. One is called instrumental value. Instrumental value, and another one is called as intrinsic value. Instrumental value and intrinsic value. Now first let me give an example, then you can write. So degree of importance means here you attaches importance but not to a very great degree, and here there is a more degree of importance. such as, let's say, an example of environment as a value. Environment, okay, valuing the environment or environmental value. Now, we see that in the context of environmental value, you should plant the trees. Okay, more trees should be planted. So let's see here, planting a trees is a value for us. Planting trees is a value. Now this value, how much importance you attach with the planting a tree, okay, whether a very great importance or some secondary importance. Depending upon that, we have a classification, that is instrumental value and intrinsic value. Now in the first case, let's see that you plant a tree, okay, you plant a tree, but your main objective is not planting a tree for the sake of environment, but you know that it will give you the fruits. Let's say, for example, planting a mango tree, okay. Mango tree is not for the sake of environmental point of view, but because you expect you will get the mangoes. So getting the mangoes is your primary value, okay. Getting mangoes is your primary value and planting tree is your secondary value. So here the value act as a means to an end. Okay, any value which you consider only as a means to some other end, okay, you are basically looking out for certain utilitarian value. What is the use of it? Environment in itself is not a very fundamental value for you, but what is the utility of environment? What is the materialistic advantage? What is the benefit? Okay, and here the benefit is in the form of getting the mangoes. Okay, have you understood? So any value, when we attach that importance as a means, okay, means to an end, such value is called instrumental value. Okay, or this is sometimes also called as utilitarian value. Okay, utilitarian value. So you can write something about, or let me explain, then you can write it together. Now, what happened in this case, intrinsic value. Now, again, it's an example same, that is, let's say, an environmental value. So, again, I am planting here trees, okay, mango trees. But I am planting a tree for the sake of environmental purpose and nothing else. So, this value is end in itself. It is not means to an end, but it is end in itself. I am not thinking about whether I will get the mangoes or not. My interest is, because environment is a point of view of interest, therefore my ultimate end or my ultimate value is environment. Here the degree of importance to the environment is very high. So be it a cactus plant, then also I will plant. Okay, cactus, you know, thorny bushes and this thing. Still I will plant it because environment is my consideration. So these values are generally called as utilitarian and materialistic values, and this when we call, it's called as the intrinsic value. Let's take an example, another example, like say education as a value. Okay, education as a value. So see, generally what happens here, education, there is a value, but ultimately what we are looking out here is that what is the benefit of education? What is the package I will get? Okay, 10 lakh, 25 lakh, 50 lakh, 1 crore. So, which kind of job I get? Okay, whether I can go abroad or not. मुझे US जाने का मौका मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा? Okay, so the whole education system is depend upon the benefits. So, education per se is not a value. What the benefits that will come, that becomes a more important value. Doctor बन जाए, engineer बनना है, civil services बनना है, because lot many kickbacks you receive in the civil services, and it's a very lucrative career. Okay, that's education is not that important, but the lucrative things which will flow to you, that is more important value. Here in this case, the value education for the sake of education, for the wisdom, okay, for the knowledge and nothing else. Okay, so here there is a higher value. That's why we say that there is something wrong with our educational system. Most of the time our educational system has been reduced into the instrumental value, and nobody is paying attention education from point of view of intrinsic value. And therefore we see that even when many times you must have read the term that we are literate but we are not educated. So this means that we are literate, we are learning, but we haven't given too much of focus on the wisdom, character building, morality, integrity, okay, sound principles in life. So today's education system is failing to impart some of the basic values in individual. You can keep on extending like health, say for example, in day-to-day life. These days people has this fad of going to gym. Okay. Now you think that gym is a instrumental value. Many a times people want 6-pack, 8-pack, 10-pack, abs, पता नहीं क्या क्या, toned body. Okay. So, but if you are in 40 plus, then obviously, हाँ, मतलब health for the sake of health only. Okay. But यहाँ पे भाई जैसे दिखना है, भाई जैसे बनना है. Okay. So this kind of thing is there. Health has become a instrumental value here. Okay, that was the only for the sake of understanding. So you can write now. Yes. Or you have written already. Oh, you want me to dictate? Yes, okay. लिखो. Instrumental value. यही लिखना है. Instrumental value is the one which act as a means to an end, which act as a means to an end, When we call something as an instrumental value, when we call something as an instrumental value, it inherently mean we are also looking at some other higher value, in bracket ultimate value likho, some other value or the ultimate value. For example, considering environment as an instrumental value means, for example, considering environment as instrumental value means use of environment or conservation of environment from point of view of returns that we receive from environment, from point of view of returns or benefits that we receive from environment. In this case, conservation of environment is an instrumental that is secondary value, which act as a means to an ultimate end, in bracket primary value, comma, in this case the benefits. Okay, in this case the benefits. Okay, now write the intrinsic value. The value which act as an end in itself. End in itself. Example, when we consider environment or environmental value as an ultimate value, as a ultimate value, and we preserve the environment, and we preserve and conserve the environment, and we preserve and conserve the environment from environmental point of view only, from environmental point of view only, and nothing else, and nothing else, then such value will be instrumental value. Okay, so these are the higher categories of values. Please write here somewhere that is instrumental value is called as utilitarian value. Okay, utilitarian value. Instrumental value is called as utilitarian value. This is basically where it is a utility of these concepts. How do you look at different values in society? Okay, depending upon that, there is a classification. This will be more useful if the separate question will be there. What do you understand by value? Discuss different types of values and its implications. Okay, so discuss the definition of value, then different types of values, and then its implication in terms of significance. हमने पहले लिखवाया है, that is values form the basis for ethics and morality. And then there are separate things which I have given, like at individual level, at societal level, and at judgment level, and following the compliance with the laws, and meeting the objectives of organization and government. For the civil servants' point of view, how these values are important. Okay, so that's about the ethics, values, morality, their interrelationship, etc. Now let's discuss about the. Have we discussed the nature of values? No, right? The nature of values. Nature of values, ethics, morality. Right. Nature of values. So obviously nature of values depends like ethics and morality also. Now first, let's see what we are trying to see when we call what is the nature of value. We are trying to resolve few of the dilemmas and the debates here. Dilemma is that is whether the values are universal and eternal in nature, or whether the values are cultural specific. Cultural specific. Whether the values are absolute, write this, okay? Whether the values are absolute or whether they are relative in nature. Okay, values are absolute or values are relative. Whether the values are static or values are dynamic in nature. Dynamic or whether the values are changing. Static is whether the values are constant. Whether the values are objective or they are subjective. It's almost the same. All thing is like whether the values are constant. If you see that there's not much difference in between this side and that side. Okay. So at the end of the discussion, you should be able to answer like what is the nature of the values. So write the question. Have you written that question? Some people, okay, right. And question, have you written this? Okay, right. Some people think that, quote unquote करके लिखो. Some people think that values are universal and eternal in nature. Some people think that values are universal and eternal in nature. Values are universal and eternal in nature. While few other think values are values are changing with respect to time, place, and context. With respect to time, place, and context. Time, place, and context. Okay, unquote. Evaluate the statement. Evaluate the statement and give your opinion. Evaluate the statement and give your opinion with with due justification. With due justification. Okay, try this question. I'll give you 5 minutes. All of you have understood the question? Everybody should write. I can ask randomly. And don't discuss and write. Reflect on your own opinion. Yes, let's discuss. 1 more minute you can take. Yes, let's discuss now. अब सब नीचे देख रहे हैं. What is this? Yes, somebody should tell. Anyone? Okay, go ahead. Be loud. Let the rest of the class also hear your opinion.
According to my opinion, they are dynamic in nature and keep, there is a constant change in values which we adhere to today, and they might change in the upcoming years or in decades. As banning sati was considered like against religion or the culture, but today we are perfectly okay with banning the sati. Also, like today we are not comfortable with homosexuality, and it is considered immoral. And like in this period only, some part of the developed world has already accepted it.
Okay, good.
We also might accept it in the coming years.
Okay, fine, good.
So there are some basic values which should be accepted universally, like honesty. It should be accepted universally, whatever is the situation, but there are some dynamic. Like in ancient times or earlier times, we can say educational value is reading scriptures. Whatever you read from scriptures, you should obey it in your daily life. But in now times, educational value is learning things practically and rationally.
Okay.
Even we criticize scriptures and we challenge them. Plus, like in earlier times, humanity is caring for each other and helping each other, but within our caste system. When it comes to religion, they used to forget these values of humanities. But now, in newer times, we are moving forward and like, moving forward without these racial discriminations and religious discriminations.
Good.
Sir, can we take the example of Indira Gandhi's assassination and Operation Blue Star in the sense that what she did, other people say that how she was killed, that was wrong. But then again, it was people like her who led the people like Janet Singh Bhindrawal and all those who led the militancy in Punjab. So would that be a fine example?
Okay. You have to put in perspective, okay, with respect to question. Maybe some value with respect to how we look at the extremist element, okay. Justification of extremism and non-justification. That way we can put it the example. Yes. Anybody else? Okay. Huh.
So early man was thoroughly dependent upon the cow for his survival.
Uh,
So he accorded great importance to the cow.
okay. Huh.
And the cow was worshipped.
Hmm.
But over time, he developed other means for his survival,
Uh,
such as agriculture.
uh,
So the importance of cows fell.
hmm.
So the value system which evaluated cow changed over time.
Hmm.
So value systems are dynamic. They are not static.
Okay. Fine. Good example. Huh. 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 Subjective and objective. Okay. Let's not conclude at the first instance itself. Okay. Okay. Fine.
Like we are speaking of marriage.
Huh.
Earlier, not sorry, big families. Earlier we were like with changing in trend. We used to have big families. Now as both are going on.
Okay, yes, marriage institution of marriage is evolving. Okay, the concept of marriage, not only from the joint family to the nuclear family, but there are new concepts like live-in relationship, single parent family, okay, whether to have the family or not. So there are new value system, individualism versus the collectivism, yes.
Then the independence era, it was considered that crossing the seas for the soldiers was meant for loss of caste. In the modern era, parents willingly send their children for education and for occupation purposes.
Okay, huh. On a time scale you can say that, yes, certainly.
Sir, can we add here also now the world is more interconnected from protectionism to globalization.
Globalization, yes, you can say that. But again, you can say that the circle is getting completed, where we see that the rise of Donald Trump and these things. This is because of tendency towards the protectionism. Okay, because there is already we can see that the evolution and more trend towards the right-wing elements, which are getting an upper hand. Okay, right-wing elements, obviously, they are more conservative, traditional, protectionist. Yes, certainly. Okay. So let's see, like, see the question, all of you are correct, but the thing is that you need to fit your examples very specific to the question. The question has said that these two types of things are there. Evaluate the statement and give your opinion. So first, like, before giving the opinion, okay, then nobody has asked you to like settle on one. Yes, you can certainly settle on one, but let's be a more diplomatic and balanced in this case. First, let's assess the statement, and then we can conclude what should be the thing. There are question says that values are changing as per the time, place, and yes, context. Now you can say that yes, values are changing, values are dynamic, but when you are writing the answer in ethics, please remember that whatever abstract statement you are making, it should be immediately accompanied by examples. So here, just not talk about vaguely how they are changing, come specifically. They are changing with respect to time, they are changing with respect to place, and they are changing with respect to context. So there are three things. So mention some examples. First, that is A, values are changing with respect to time, and we have lot many examples. Like say for example, sati, you can give, okay, parda system, okay, widow remarriage, okay, which was considered as a taboo. Again, do not limit only to the women. Okay, one is the women-related issues. Then untouchability, which was practiced in the past, now considered as a taboo, okay? Or even LGBT, let's take, today's society is relatively more progressive as compared to the past. So we do not see, okay, as an homosexuality as an offense in contemporary time as compared to the past. Or this also can be fitted into here, as she has said that India is still conservative and the other countries have progressed, because our debate lies with whether the homosexuality should be an offense or not. In America, there is debate whether there should be a marriages, gay marriages and lesbian marriages. अभी तक हमारा डिबेट यहीं पे है कि whether they are right or wrong, whether they are human beings or not, whether they are normal people or not. Okay, their debate is can they marry each other or not. Okay, so relatively we can say the values are there. So any kind of family related values, joint family to nuclear family. So various examples can be given on a time scale. So mention that it is a time scale. Then B part, you can say that at a given time also, from place to place, values are different. Here compare with the Western values with respect to the Oriental values. Here there is a focus on individual liberty. Okay, individualism and individual liberty is a very highly cherished value in the Western countries, whereas in case of India, we prefer collectivism. Okay, still family values, cultural values, religious values are far more important than the individual values. So therefore, the issues with regard to why they are common, because we are focusing upon the collectivity. Within the place, within India, yesterday I mentioned about Khaf Panchayat, and this within India you can also write for the Khaf Panchayat that marrying in the same Gotra is a wrong, okay, or an offense, whereas in rest of the part it is not the case. So from place to place you can give. Then context, that is based upon circumstances. I have given the example of killing. Okay, that is based upon circumstances. So mention as per the time, as per the place, as per the context. Context like killing is wrong. This was an example. But then with change in context, you immediately say that killing also is a good thing to do in certain contexts. And then say that, so yes, the values are changing and evolving, but then you also say that that's a one part of the story only. Okay, there are certain values which are sort of universal in nature and eternal in nature. These are the values of love, care, compassion, empathy, truth, okay, respect for elders, and write that irrespective of time, irrespective of culture, irrespective of context, some of the values which are called as, yesterday I have told you, human values are the core values. These are sort of human values or core values which are upholded all the period of time, and therefore both the things are there. Okay, and then have I mentioned about absolutism and relativism? No. So see, the thing is, this question was asked. There are group of people who will always say that there is only one dimension. That is, it's a universal and eternal. Such people are called absolutist. What is the meaning of absolutist or absolutism? These are the term. Absolutism is that ethics is absolute. Okay, all values are absolute. Say for example, killing. If killing is wrong, then it is wrong in all the contexts. You cannot justify capital punishment. You cannot justify euthanasia. You cannot justify killing of people in war times, because ultimately, when we have accepted killing is a wrong and life is a worth living for, or life is worth considering as a valued thing, then it becomes absolute. In no circumstance you can justify this and you can make it secondary. Such people are called absolutists. Once they take up the values, they say that values are absolute. Somebody is following them or not following them, somebody is diluting them or not diluting them, that's the problem. But values in a sense are absolute in nature. Those who keep this viewpoint, they are called absolutists, and the phenomena or the theory is called as absolutism. Absolutism, that values are absolute in nature and they do not change with respect to time. They are objective in nature, they are not subjective. There are other group of people, this is called as relativism. They say that nothing is possible, ethics, theory of ethics in the world is not possible because everything is relative. So these people will uphold that is called as relativism, or the one who hold this is called relativist. Now, in their cases, even the violence and this thing is also relative. Say, for example, when you are killing the terrorists, violence is fine because everything is relative. Violence is other, so everything is contextual. Nothing is absolute, everything is contextual. So, for that matter, that we see that there is a difference of perspective. Terrorist of one country becomes the freedom fighter for the other, or the freedom fighter of one is becomes the terrorist for the others. Like in case of India, also you see that Bhagat Singh we call revolutionary, okay, but for the point of view of the Britishers, certainly he was a terrorist and therefore he was hanged. But from our point of view, he was a freedom fighter. Same thing across the globe, if you see the people in the Palestine who are fighting for their war, from the Israel's point of view, they are the terrorists. Okay, Hamas, Fatah, okay, both the factions, although there is a moderate faction and the extremist faction. So, Hamas faction and whatever the case is, but from Israel's point of view, they are the terrorists. Here you see the case of Baran Wani. Okay, think of from the Kashmir's point of view, Baran Wani is a freedom fighter for them. He is martyrdom. Obviously, he is a inspiring figure for them. But from the rest of the India's point of view, he become a terrorist. So these are the problems of complexities which exist in ethics. But by and large, while writing the answer, you should be quite having a balanced approach, and you should just be a diplomatic in saying that yes, both the things can exist, and these are as good as the facts in ethics. Okay. You see, if you want to debate, because this is not a science, in fact, everything is relative. Since it is not a fact, and fact is something which you can testify, which you can objectify, which you can sense, which after a repeated experiment, same result will occur. That is what the science is all about. Okay, humanities, obviously you can challenge, even this can be challenged. Think of, say, for example, truth. Let's consider truth as a very highly cherished value. Okay? Truth and honesty as something like universal and eternal. I'm just giving an example how truth can be, and also think of communal riot is happening in a country. Let's take an example, 1992 Bombay riot. Okay, and see here you are there is an individual. Here there is an individual. Okay, this principal is this person is having this. Okay, dagger in his hand, okay, running behind. This is from one community, this is from the another community. Now this person is moving here, yahan pe gali hai, okay, let's say there are 3 gullies here. This person is running behind him, this has sneaked into this gully. Now you are a person here standing, okay, of a religion group A1. This person is asking you, where this person has gone? Now think of truth is absolute. Okay? He has asked you. Now you have been taught truth is a universal, truth is pious, truth is virtuous, truth is absolute. Now how truth becomes absolute here? Okay, telling a lie may be more ethical than speaking a truth. Do not quote such examples. I'm just showing that if you can't debate, then everything can be a relative and nothing can be an absolute. But yes, that you must understand this, that there are situations wherein it get contextualized, but by and large, there are certain values which are universal and eternal, whereas others values are changing as per the time, place, and therefore relative. Now, just write one more statement there, very famous, which is a very, very different from this. It has nothing to do with the nature of ethics as such. Just it may boomerang you at some times, like you will not understand. Write the statement. The relativity belongs to the physics. Relativity belongs to the physics, and absolutism belongs to ethics. Or just write relativity, do not write this way. Relativity belongs to the physics and not to ethics. Relativity belongs to the physics and not to ethics. Now this is said by Albert Einstein, okay, the physicist scholar. Think about it, what must be the underlying message of it. Okay, take 1 or 2 minutes. Do not write the answers because there's nothing as such, okay, to write about it. Or you have supreme confidence, this is what the Albert Einstein wants to say, you can try the answer also. Not very difficult, but think about it, what it must be. Just now I have mentioned something, that's why I have given you the statement. I have said that the science is absolute, science is objective, science is testified, science is verified, science is static, and ethics is you can have a relativity because it's a humanity. And Albert Einstein, who is the greatest of all scientists, is saying that no, relativity is about the science and ethics are absolute in nature. So, what is the underlying message he wants to convey? Pardon me? No, in fact, he is saying the other way around. You read the statement. You are saying that scientific theories are absolute and they are not, they are relative. Yes, we understand from, you are telling the literal meaning. Okay, all of you are telling the literal meaning. Yes, somewhere the Albert Einstein is saying that science is more relative and ethics is more. So he is trying to say that the specificity of the physics is relative and the specificity of the ethics is absolutism. What was the underlying message he wants to pass on? Yes, very good. Yes, something very close.
Something like कि अभी मुझे अपना काम निकालना है, so I follow a certain principle.
Yes.
The next day, it's like she's my friend. So today I wanted to help her with my homework. So I come home, sick, I need your help. And the other day, when she's the one who's sick, and I have to do my homework, and she comes to me and is like, Swati, please help. And it's like, sorry, I have to study.
Okay, yes. So values changes. All of you have understood?
In simple way, we can say that people react according to surrounding and the situation.
People react surrounding, and why they react to surrounding is basically what benefits them. Okay. Most of the times our ethics is something, okay, that benefits us. We don't have absolute principle in life. Whatever will benefit, we immediately change our stance and keep on changing our stand. So morality and ethics, we are taking it from our convenience point of view and not adhering to certain standard absolute principles. Okay, we say that any particular principle, like there's a sense of hypocrisy. What we preach, we don't follow, and something which we follow, we somehow justify. Okay, so sometimes we say that okay, these are the high moral values. Corruption is bad thing, this thing, that thing. But when there is a sort of an you want to get your job done within a shorter span of time, you say that system is corrupt. There are lot many procedures and these things. I have no options but to do the corruption. But on the other side, you said that their morality, integrity, and these are the highly cherished values. So what is happening here is, depending upon your convenience, you are jumping your stand. And therefore, the ethics has become a matter of convenience rather than the adherence to the absolute values. So Einstein says that no, you cannot flirt with ethics. You have to marry with ethics. Are you understanding? There is a statement. नहीं, मैंने नहीं बोला है. ऐसा है statement. कहीं I came across it. So there should be more fidelity with respect to ethics. Okay, there should be more commitment with respect to ethics. Ethics is not a matter of convenience. You should follow it. He also trying to attach the significance of ethics and morality in public life. Okay, how much morals and ethics are important. Now, in such cases, when he's trying to say physics is relative, he was actually trying to say, whenever they try to bring certain important point, okay, in fact, he wanting to drive the point on the ethics and its adherence to the ethics. That's why he has used this. Okay, there are different scholars use something which is obvious, उसको contradict करके फिर second statement दे देते हैं. Generally, the assumption is science is absolute in nature, physics are testified. Therefore, he is telling that no, physics is not, but the ethics is all about relative. Have I understood? So, this is basically that putting our commitment, our values in an unflinching manner towards the values that we uphold. Okay, that is consistently following the moral values in life in all the situations. It's called as the value of integrity. Have you understood or not? It is not talking about the nature of ethics as a question. Do not get confused with relativism or absolutism. बताया था फिर ये अलग है. This is basically our adherence with respect to values. ठीक है? Now, right, the next that is a determinants of ethics. In fact, I'm just remembering one very controversial quote of Oscar Wilde. It has nothing to do with your academic understanding, but very interesting quote Oscar Wilde has said that ethics is something that we follow with respect to the person we personally dislike. Okay? Now, what do you understand by this? Very controversial statement, but some realism is also there. Ethics is something that we follow and adhere to with respect to person we dislike. So, with respect to person we dislike, so we want to keep at at a hand's length. Therefore, we bring morality. This is not correct. This is not correct. Okay, because we dislike the person. Where we like the person, so obviously there is no morality. We say that everything is fair in love and war, and the will and the consent will be only thing. Okay, do not write. It has nothing to do with anything. Okay, Oscar Wilde, you will always find his quotations, okay, way beyond the understanding of the society. Okay, yes, the determinants of ethics, or obviously these determinants of values and determinants of morality. Now, determinants of ethics is whatever we are saying right and wrong, what are its sources? What that determines our ethical values. So, you can write here first, that is the principle of or the process of socialization, and through the process of socialization process happens through different agents of socialization, different agents or different sources of socialization. Process is socialization, but from where it comes from. Yes, what are the agents of socialization? First is, yes, certainly the family. The first and foremost is family. Then you have, yes, education or school, religion, culture, peer group, media, or you can write the mass media. Mass media. In mass media, you have different things like conventional media, say for example, news media or journalism. Then you have social media also, okay? Social media, cinema and the music, advertisements. Okay, in mass media, there are various things. News media or journalist, advertisement, cinema and music, social media. Then you have the leaders in life, leaders, inspiring figures, idols, okay? The revered person of life which has a lot of influence on individual life. Leaders, inspiring figures, idols. एक ही है यार, जो मतलब जिसको भी आप हाँ भगवान मानते हो, ओके, नॉट अ गॉडमैन टाइप वाला, MSG क्या नाम है, मैसेंजर ऑफ गॉड एंड ओके, बैन हो गया क्या? रॉक स्टार है वो। ठीक है। आश्रम बापू रॉक स्टार है तो ऐसे में। Do you know that there is a section 495 through which you can land in jail? This is a blasphemy. Okay, you know this Kiku Sharda, okay, case of Kiku Sharda, or this AIB roast. AIB roast. Okay, so this has come under the scanner because they have violated so-called religious sentiments. Okay, and Kiku Sharda has been charged with violation of this section 495. Therefore, it is called blasphemy. Okay, although the case has not been sustained, charges has not been sustained, because this is what we see, that the freedom of speech and expression, some other way, they are trying to curtail. Anyways, so let's come here. We'll come to that point later on. Now, what kind of the questions are asked on this? See, this is through the process of socialization. Then there are other things also that at organizational level, you can write separately that organization and profession. These are more formal in nature, in a sense that once you join any organization, then obviously we have already discussed, you have to abide by code of conduct and code of ethics, professional ethics, organizational ethics, professional ethics, administrative ethics, business ethics, medical ethics. So depending upon the kind of the profession you uphold. Code of conduct, code of ethics. Code of conduct and code of ethics. So, kind of questions they are asked is discuss the various determinants of ethics and their significance in value inculcation. Okay, then they can ask, or they can pick up any single factor of this. They can pick up like and say that family and its role in value inculcation. Okay, analyze the statement. So it can be a broadly worded question. Second thing, it can be a specific, a particular agent of socialization, and they may ask you the question. And third thing is, in case studies, you have to invariably use these points. I'll explain later on how to use these points, because ultimately, if suggestion has to be given, so you have to pick up what should be the role of family, what should be the role of education, what should be the role of media, etc. In different problems, you will find invariably some of the other agent of socialization and their role, and therefore you have to remember this. Okay, let's start with the family. That is first part. So some of the things with respect to family, here I'll write. This part I'll clear. So, role of family in inculcating the ethical values in individual or in a society. Now you see that most of the times it happens that we meet strangers and then we ask, what's your name? And immediately we ask, what's your family? Okay, what's your parents? This is because we know that the moment we understand what somebody's parent is doing, we can get the value system and broader understanding of individual, because we know that most of the values that come in an individual, they come from the family, okay, or parents. So, right, some of the significance or why socialization is so important and what is the role of family. So, role of or significance of family, this is the first agent of socialization, okay. Family is the first agent of socialization. Very first interface of child is with respect to family. Then second, it's an informal institution of socialization. It is an informal institution of socialization. Next is the socialization happen during the formative stage of life. Socialization of family happens during the formative stage of life. Therefore, formative stage you understand? छोटे हाँ मतलब अभी बड़े नहीं हुए, formative stage, just growing, formative stage of life. Therefore, the values imbibed by family stay with the individual stay with the individual for the longer time, or at times lifetime also. Stay with the individual for the longer time. Since there involve emotional investment, right, in continuation, since there involve emotional investment, emotional investment within the family, within the family, emotional investment, okay, within the family, comma, values imbibed by family, values imbibed by family are more intense in nature, are more intense, intense in nature. Intense in a sense that, see, the thing is, somebody, if you go into the conference and listen to some seminar and they are talking about certain good values, okay, and then somebody has been told to you by your family, which one will be a more stronger impact? Certainly a family, because that's unquestionable, because most of the times it is emotional. Your parents are telling, therefore you do not question it. Second important point is this formative stage of life is very important, because you don't have anything in your mind. Therefore, whatever is being taught by the family is become your absolute value. In fact, you think that there is so much of respect and emotional investment with respect to parents, that what is being told by the parents is only the truth that should exist. Okay? And think of, no man is infallible. Okay? No man is infallible. Everybody is imperfect. But then, whatever the parents are saying, okay, that becomes a reality for the children. And therefore, when he grows into adulthood, most of the times, if there is a bad socialization or the values have not been inculcated properly, therefore we tend to see that this get reflected into your adulthood. So therefore, there is a immense importance of the family. So that's what we are trying to convey, that it's the first agent, it's the informal agent, it's during the formative stage of life, there involves the emotional investment. This all makes family as a very, or the most important institution of socialization. Now, this is the first paragraph you can write, that what is its significance. In the second, you can discuss how values, how different values get imbibed in the family. Now, you may have a generic approach that in family, love, care, and this thing, that thing is imbibed. Okay, so this way also, or you can have another approach like what is there in case of joint family, which are the values that are imbibed, what is there in case of nuclear family, and how values are imbibed. This also approach you can adopt. There's an open-ended field. So let's take in case of joint family. Joint family may, as compared to the nuclear family, you will see more care for others. You see the, right, matlab, joint family, then care for others, respect for elders, value of belongingness, value of helping each other, love, empathy. Because you see here, 2-3 generations are staying there. So obviously, if somebody fails sick, so the 2 generations are looking after them. So you develop a sense of that belongingness with respect to others. So care, love, emotional attachment, respect for the elders, belongingness, these are the values primarily more in case of the joint family. Or as a team, okay, as a team, how do you work? There is a division of labor that exists in case of joint family. There is something negative about it. I will speak that later on, or maybe you can take, in spite of all these factors, maybe particularly in Indian joint families, you will see that the value with respect to the gender equality, you will not see much in the joint family, because there will be an division of labor, okay. Most of the times that women should sit back home, the male counterpart can go out and then earn money and they can come back. So there is a strict division of like stereotyping of the gender and their role that you observe in case of joint family. Okay, that is a restrictive role, this will be there. When it comes to the nuclear family, this is more gender equality relatively you will find more gender equality, because here you may find that the urban middle class women is also going out and working. So the kid is seeing that both the parents are going, both of them are having the job, and both of them are by and large are equal back at home. Okay, so that's about the gender equality. Then there is more emphasis, these families, the values which are more important, and they are more materialistic and achievement oriented, or you can say that achievement oriented societies, achievement oriented values. Why? Because see, the kid is there in some sort of an house. To look after someone. There is a maid for him, or maybe he's put into yes. हाँ क्रेच में रख सकते हैं उनको, वहाँ पे आप मतलब 10 बजे छोड़ दो, 5 बजे उठा के लेके आओ, ठीक है. सो उनको भी पता है कि पैसा कमाना बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, इसलिए आई हैव टू सेट हियर. सो ही इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट दिस इज अ वेरी ग्लोबलाइज्ड वर्ल्ड, working is important, okay, materialistic values are important, and obviously you will say that the love, care, emotions, empathy, belongingness, ये kids के बहुत ज़्यादा वो inculcate नहीं होता है. Individualistic values become more importantly inculcated in such cases. Individualism versus collectivism जो बोला था, he become more individualistic. Okay, relatively we are comparing with the joint family. इसलिए उसको जब दिवाली को गांव में दादा परदादा के पास ले जाते हैं तो he feels like he is alien to me. Okay, कोई दादा वादा ले रहा है तो वो रोना चालू कर देता है कि who is this. मतलब उनको बताना पड़ता नहीं नहीं आपके दादा है. It's sometimes it's insulting also. अरे ये किसी के पास नहीं जाना जाता है, ऐसे वैसे कुछ बोलना पड़ता है. So there is a lot of trouble with respect to the kids also. Okay, that's a part of a nuclear family. So equality, gender equality, achievement orientation, materialism, these aspects you will see. This is one way of writing. Second way of writing, you can just pick up some of the values. If these values are good in parents, so obviously kid will be like this. If these values are bad, or if, say for example, you can say, if the parents themselves are communal, so obviously the child is also communal or more religious orientation. If they are more secular, they themselves have the peer group. Like say for example, आपके parents है और उनके inter-religious काफी सारे friends है वगैरह वगैरह. So obviously that kind of the value is inculcated into it. अगर आपके पेरेंट्स एनजीओ में काम कर रहे तो आप भी सोशलिस्ट बन जाते हो. अगर आप बिजनेसमैन हैं तो कैपिटलिस्ट बन जाते हो. So sort of a thing. Obviously there will be a lot of influence with respect to the family members. So that's about it. That's how the family and their role in shaping the values. Ultimately, many of the problems, see for example, we see that this Delhi gang rape has happened. After Delhi gang rape, there was FIR was filed and the court verdict came that capital punishment is granted to them, etc., etc. Then there was a larger debate that how far the legal system is going to eliminate the problem of this violence against the women. Is the law is the only solution? Because there was a documentary which came out, what is called, yes, India's Daughter. Okay, so in India's Daughter documentary, it has been shown that those people who have committed the rape and were there in the jail, now there is no sense of remorse, there is no sense of repentance. They say that the problem was with the girl, and they were also saying that when so many people are doing, why only we will be singled out and punished for it. Now this sense shows that there is a lot of malice in the society itself. The law single-handedly cannot eliminate the problem. Even when the number of capital punishment are increasing on one hand, the number of rape cases and sexual harassments are also working parallelly. It means that until and unless we change this aspect, that is to the value inculcation since childhood. In fact, it's very interesting to see, if you see the profile of those people who have committed this Delhi gang rape, most of them belong to, yes, extremely poor family. They are staying in in slums. Okay, ये आर के पुरम या उस साइड के slums से belong करते हैं. हाँ, जो भी है, whatever the thing is. Okay, so they belong to the slum. Most of them do not have a very good family. They never gone into the school. They do not have a very well-knit belongingness attached to each other. So this is where we see that lack of good values get resulted into commission of this kind of crimes in society. So the answer lies here where family and this all agent of socialization, and they have certain role to play in inculcating the values. Now let's come to the second part, that is चला गया education and the school. Right? क्या ब्रेक कितने बजे? आज जल्दी ब्रेक मांग रहे हो क्या? आज जल्दी मांग रहे हो क्या? स्कूल खत्म कर देते हैं, स्कूल उसके बाद ब्रेक ले लो. So right, yes, education and school. It's like some general points like the school is a first formal agent of socialization. First formal agent or formal institution of socialization. Then also this happens in like bullet form में भी लिख सकते हो. Formative stage of life में again school. That's why schooling and family is considered is very, very important thing. Okay, because both of them are in the formative stage of life. Formative stage means the early stage of life. So whatever is being taught in the school and kind of the environment to which he witnessed to, that is school environment. So obviously that kind of values impact him a lot. Now, yes, what do you think? How to write like this? What are the kinds of the values that are imbibed in the school and education? What is your analysis? Good, bad? What is happening in contemporary time? Or okay, good values. Okay, sharing, discipline.
Standard way of educating, like history, geography, math, science. That is what you have to study. And for a very long time, schools were not even promoted. Schools are very recently so many all implemented. So suddenly they come, okay,
Okay, value with respect to the sports. Okay, fine. What else? Independence. Creativity, teamwork. ठीक है. Okay, fine. Yes, when you are playing the football, teamwork is there. Yes, very good. Equality is one thing, because see, the thing is something what was missing here in case of family. See, what happens in case of family, it's on the basis of emotions are also very important in case of family. And when, say, for example, you have 2, 3 siblings and you are like asking for something, okay, I want a Barbie doll. They say that, no, this is an unreasonable demand because you don't know inflation is so high, etc. Then you start crying. Arey yaar, come on, no, I was saying just like that. Then again you cry, okay, fine, we are getting the Barbie doll for you. Then the son started, I want a video game, okay, and you are not getting me the video game. So same thing will keep on happening. So whether it is a reasoned and unreasoned demand, ultimately the emotions come into play. And the more pampered child you are, so obviously you are going to get all such things, reasonable and unreasonable. Now think of the same, the one who is so hell-bent on something and stubborn that I want this and that, goes into the school. Now he gets the 10 out of 25 in mathematics. Now the kid cannot cry, come on, madam, mujhe 25 mark, 25 out of 25. Because he realizes now it's not a family. Okay, once you step out of the family, the equal law applies to all. Okay, so the value of equality, value of merit, value of respecting each other, value of community. Okay, these are the values which he learns. Okay, so value of equality. Okay, value of companionship, value of team spirit, value of merit. Value of merit. So these are some of the values that are getting imbibed in the school. Now, this is a very broadly that we have written. Now, in a school, you can divide this into 2 parts. That is, what is through the formal content of your syllabus, what is being taught and what kind of the values are generated, and from the environment, school environment, what are the values that you can get. Okay, now depending upon the content of education, again things change, because in India we do not have the common schooling system. Okay, although we want, What we want is that one should have the modern, the secular, rational, and scientific temper or scientific values which create this kind of citizen, a more secular citizen, more rational, more having a scientific temperament. This is what we want, that school should produce this kind of things, okay, this kind of values, secularism as a value, rationality as a value, okay, scientific temperament as a value. So one should, like, as a child, he should give more importance to this. On the contrary, obviously, secular versus यहाँ पे communal होता है. But our ideal attempt, we are trying to say, he should not be communal but secular in nature. He should not believe in dogmas, but more in the rationality. He should not believe in superstitions, but he should inculcate the scientific temperament. Okay, so this is an attempt, but again we see that in India, the quality education is not being provided. Again, we have a different schoolings, and depending upon the different schoolings, we also see different kind of the value system that is imbibed. Although not in a very formal sense, but in a very subtle manner, you will come across the people coming from different schools. Say, for example, if somebody is coming from convent, okay, most of the times you see that there is Christianity tinges there already, Christian values. Okay, whenever there is a Christmas celebration, they go gaga about it. Okay, oh my God, this is like people from DAV. Okay, most of the times Gayatri Mantra, shloks, they will be enchanting all such kind of thing. In fact, they feel, why the convent people celebrate Diwali in the month of December? Okay, because because such an these values are imbibed. Okay, most of the times you see that shloks, prayers, okay, songs, this kind of things is there in case of DAV. और कॉन्वेंट वाले जिंगल जिंगल बेल वगैरह वगैरह. वेस्ट में कुछ हो जाता है, जर्मनी में कुछ अटैक हो जाता है, तो इनको बहुत ज़्यादा वो हो जाता है. So there is, yes, this happened. There is another school, DPS, don't know from where the values come from. Okay, that's beyond contemplation of anyone. Okay, they fall from the sky or. It's very difficult. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is, you will certainly see that particular tinge, and when they go into the adulthood, they try to defend this value. We have the madrasas also. Okay, now madrasas also are of two types. Okay, something we are talking here about the modern madrasas in India, but you have in Afpak region and in POK region, the madrasas inculcating radical values. Okay, so depending upon what kind of the educational system you belongs to, you will certainly see the kind of the value system that is being imbibed, and therefore these people are defending, okay, their particular values as compared to others. Now let's take an example. What I have said, that religion in itself is, we are not making an attempt to educate the people with respect to all religious values. Say, for example, if you want to teach him honesty, discipline, and truth, okay, the most of the times in this in the books you will find in DAV, that is Dhyan and Anglo-Vedic has said this, therefore truth, violence, and this thing should be observed. Udhar kisi aur ka naam hoga, udhar kisi aur ka naam hoga. So, but we are not teaching them that the same value has been taught in all the religion. Okay, the truth is a principle which has been taught. Maybe the words are different. So, this inter-religious faith, this secular aspect, the understanding of all other religion has not been given a focus of attention, and that's why we say that people who are coming from, again, defending their particular stance for the times to come. So this is where we see that we do not want any kind of a communal tinge, but it should be replaced by secular. It should be more rational and scientific one. So you can write this way. Then second part you can write here is some extracurricular activity that is carrying out in school and what sort of the values are being imbibed. In extracurricular activity, obviously, you write the sports which inculcate the team spirit and etc. Then you have the things like NCC. Okay, through the NCC, the value of discipline, value of patriotism, value of nationalism. So through the NCC and these activities, somewhat how it is important, that the military issues. Are you understanding? Discipline, patriotism, team spirit. Then you have the scouts and guides and NSS. NSS, you know? What is this? Acha, you have done so many are saying that is National Service Scheme. Okay, NSS or Scouts and Guides. Okay, Scouts and Guides. So this will imbibe the value of social orientation. Okay, value of society or value of social service. Most of the people, like if you see the NSS, you go for 10 days in a village, you work there, you understand their problem. So value of empathy, value of compassion, value of service orientation. Scouts and Guides also, kids go sell their products, etc., etc. Okay, so the point is, through extracurricular also the values are imbibed. Okay, nowadays there is also talk going on that is starting with the moral education in schools separately in a formal way, and many of the state government has come up with the different moral schoolings from the schools, that what we are discussing here, maybe some values will be taught to them. But the point is, again, there is a problem with respect to teaching the moral values, because as I have said, the one who framed the syllabus for the moral education, again, they try to bring the communal tinge to it. They will try to prove that, look, our religion was so nice, so pious, that all the moral values are coming from only our religion. That becomes too problematic for the teaching of the moral education in India. But yes, one should talk about it. And the last is environment, ecosystem. See, in ecosystem, what we are trying to say, what is your relationship with your peer group? You try and understand what is it to have friends, brotherhood, respecting your teachers. Okay, so in an ecosystem also you are learning with respect to your colleagues how to behave. Okay, that is feeling of brotherhood, feeling of team spirit, respecting your elders like teachers. So these points also coming out of when you are within the four walls of school premise. Okay. Now, somewhat very controversial, and this something more deeper analysis you can make here. Like you have a Right to Education Act, okay, recently in place, which makes the 6 to 14 years compulsory education. There is also one more provision in the act, and it says that 25% of the seats in all the schools should be reserved from children from the backward areas or poor people. Okay, that economically weaker section. Now, EWS category. So here the point is, it's a very good step that people from the economically weaker section is also getting the good quality education, particularly this convent, modern, and this I have spoken about, that not just the public school, but also the act is applied in case of the private schools also. Now, what is happening, although apparently we may feel that yes, quality values are imbibed and etc., but there are, if you do the more deeper analysis, say for example, early in the morning when the kids are coming to the school, okay, this one from the 75%, he will come in four-wheeler, okay, somebody will be there to open his door and to give him a bag and wave him a goodbye, and still he is crying, still he is forced into inside the school. And then the same time, the auto is coming and some 6-7 kids are coming out of it. Now both of them belong to a same school. They are seeing that, okay, this is a kid which is coming together. So there is a division which was existing in the society where people come to know about it later stage of their life. Now the students are realizing there is something called rich and poor. There is something called hierarchy in society. Okay, and there is an inferiority complex that is being developed, that I am supposed to behave in this particular manner and somebody is. So what was the glaring inequality which was existing in the society is getting incorporated at very formative stage of life. In fact, there are a number of schools, you will say that this is based upon the surveys conducted, that to what extent this effectivity of this RTE is there, that the kids are, this 25% on the right side of the corner and 75 on one side. Teacher is paying more attention to the 75, 25% of the people, if the question is asked, they are just ignoring it. 75% the teacher is answering in a more enthusiastic manner. So this kind of a discrimination are coming out, and it is having a far-reaching negative impact on the kids. Are you understanding? So these are some of the, see, this is a very open-ended topic. However you come across and different sort of information you can incorporate. Okay, just I have given you how and what is the role of school in shaping the value system of an individual. Okay, depending upon that, their ethical values will be shaped. Okay. Now let's come to अच्छा break चाहिए क्या तुम्हें? Okay, break ले लो religion से पहले. Take a break of okay, 4 बजे चालू करते हैं. नहीं नहीं यहाँ पे 7 minutes break. Yes, right now the next point. Yes, religion and values or religion and ethics. Now write the question, discuss the role of religion. Discuss the role of religion. Role of religion. Religion as a source of ethics. As a source of ethics. With a special reference to. With a special reference to contemporary context, with a special reference to contemporary time, with special reference to contemporary time. Okay, so there can be a variety of questions. This one question, they may ask you, religions and ethics do not go hand in hand. Okay, critically analyze the statement. Right, this also. Religion and ethics cannot go hand in hand. Cannot go hand in hand. Analyze. Analyze. Next, you can write. It is being said that religion is ethics. It is being said that religion is ethics and ethics is religion. It is being said that religion is ethics and ethics is religion. Okay, analyze the statement. Okay, analyze or evaluate the statement. So just take 2 minutes and just have a framework in your mind on three of them. Just in 1 minute. You are not supposed to write the answers. Just have some viewpoint. Yes. What do you think about the third question? Ethics is religion and religion is ethics. Yes. Hmm? हाँ. हाँ? Hint of communalism. अच्छा बहुत दूर हाँ but ठीक है हाँ हाँ
primarily derives its legitimacy from religious scriptures,
हाँ.
may come in conflict with modern ethics.
No, so I am saying, do you justify this statement absolute in its complete sense? Hmm.
But at the same time, it helps in creating a homogeneous
Okay.
mass
हाँ.
of people, which essentially instilling some basic values in them,
Okay.
apart from like
हाँ.
humanity, religion,
हाँ. ठीक है.
some code of conduct in particular.
No, but here we are not discussing the question. The simple meaning of this, everything about the ethics is about religion, and everything about the religion is about ethics. Do you justify? Hmm.
So all religions try to inculcate some sort of a belief
Hmm.
or the other
Hmm.
in the name of ethics.
Hmm.
Ethics itself has its rules and religion.
In religion. Okay. So 100% what is there in ethics is coming from religion? That's the statement is saying. Okay, we'll discuss about it. What about the second question? Ethics and religion do not go hand in hand. This is the other side of the spectrum. Okay. The one earlier we said that ethics is equal to religion and religion is equal to ethics. Now we are saying that they do not go hand in hand. They can go hand in hand, they must go hand in hand, they should go hand in hand. Okay, they go hand in hand indeed. Okay. At times, obviously, there are problems. Somewhere they should not go hand in hand because there are certain religious things which cannot be justified. Okay, we'll see that. So, I'll come to the question. First, let's understand that how to go ahead with this. First, again, if such kind of question are there, give the definition of ethics. Ethics is about that is right and wrong. That is principles of right and wrong. Okay, ethics are the principles of right and wrong. What is the religion? Religion is also a source of guidelines for group of individuals to behave in a good manner. Okay, so ethics, religion is also a source of principles. Okay, which provides the guide. You can write religion is collection of principles. Religion is also a collection of principles which provides ethical guidelines to the specific group of people having common faith. This is not a definition of religion. Okay, this is we are trying to deduce the religion's importance with respect to ethics. Okay, generally what is religion? Religion is a source of guiding the behavior of individual, not the behavior of each and every individual. Whatever the religions, those people who are adhering to that particular faith, for that particular group of people, it provides certain guidelines. Now, these guidelines are generally with the motive that they should be ethical in nature or good with a good behavior. Now, having said this point, so first we are trying to, in the first part, trying to establish how religion is a source of ethics. How religion is important source of ethics. So here, first part is this. Yes, religion is important source of socialization. Religion, particularly in case of India, it's all the more important. It inculcates very good values. Now, whenever you are writing an abstract sentence in paper 4, it should be accompanied by examples. So write certain examples that how religion is a source of ethics. Okay, so can you give some examples from different religions like Buddhism and Jainism? You can say, yes, non-violence and the truth. Truth and non-violence are the twin principles of Buddhism and Jainism. So mention about it. In case of Jainism, there are 5 vows. They call ahimsa, satya, asteya, aparigraha, brahmacharya. Okay, so different religion. This we are going to discuss later on when we'll discuss the Indian philosophies and Indian ethical moorings. Here, just write some aspects. Like in case of Buddhism, there is a middle path. Okay, Buddha's middle path, or what we call the golden mean. Okay, so Buddha's middle path or Ashtanga Marg, eightfold part of Buddhism. That's also act as a source of ethics. क्या मध्य मध्यार्थ okay हाँ मध्यार्थ whatever the Hindi word is, middle path you can write just that way. In case of Hinduism, can you remember any? Okay, the concept of dharma, karma. Okay, अरे दोनों हैं, कर्म भी है धर्म भी है. ओके, कर्म के ऊपर अच्छे से लिखो, दैट इज निष्काम कर्म. निष्काम karma. So the concept of nishkam karma is one such example which provides what is nishkam karma? Without any fruits of your work. Okay, you are doing your work in a selfless manner. You are doing your work in a selfless manner. Yes, what do you think about this? In case of Nishkam Karma, there is one Sanskrit slogan. Okay. Karma karo, phal ki apeksha mat karo. Okay, that's the thing. So do your selfless duty. Okay, without expecting the fruits, without expecting the benefits, without expecting the results. This is a selfless duty. That is the Nishkam Karma. Okay. यस सरदार जी, आप बताइए कौन सी फिलॉसफी है? थोड़ा मॉरल फिलॉसफी पढ़ाइए हमें. सिख में क्या है? क्या है मॉरल फिलॉसफी? एक ओमकार, दैट्स द नेम, सेम वर्ड इटसेल्फ सेज. एक ओमकार इज देयर इज बट वन गॉड. ओके, एंड क्या है आगे? ठीक है. There is also sort of a community kitchen. What do you call that? Langar. Langar is to serve for the others. Okay, that is a community kitchen. Concept of community kitchen. We go and serve the society. Okay, it's called as the langar. Yes. Seva is important aspect of Sikhism. Yes, certainly. Then. इस्लाम में एक ज़कात करके कॉन्सेप्ट है. व्हाट इज ज़कात? प्योरिटी नहीं है वो. व्हाट इज ज़कात? टैक्स मतलब, अरे थोड़ा सा अच्छे से बताओ. व्हाट इज टैक्स? वट एवर यू अर्न, सम पोर्शन ऑफ योर पार्ट शुड गो फॉर द सर्विस ऑफ अदर्स. सूफिज्म. अच्छा, सूफिज्म इज डिफरेंट. ओके, नहीं यही है ज़कात, यही है. दैट इज सम पोर्शन ऑफ वॉट एवर यू अर्न. दैट इज अलम बोलते हैं जिसको. ओके, दैट यू शुड गिव इट फॉर द अदर्स. यू विल फाइंड इन ऑल द रिलीजन सम ऑफ द गुड थिंग्स. ओके, सो कोट 1 or 2 थिंग. यहाँ पे पूरा ऐसे नहीं लिखना है कि हर समय 6 रिलीजन खोला. ऐसे ही बताया है मैंने. ओके, 1 to एवरी टाइम यू शुड राइट. पेज 1.5 पेज रहता है. एक ही अगर एग्जाम्पल दोगे तो उसको पता चलेगा कि बस इसको किसी ने बोला है कि बी सेक्युलर इन राइटिंग द आंसर्स, इन्होंने चालू कर दिया. ठीक है, जस्ट गिव दिस बिकॉज वी हैव टू प्रूव दिस पॉइंट. रिलीजन इज नॉट ऑलवेज बैड. रिलीजन पर से इज नॉट बैड. रिलीजन कंटेन द सोर्स ऑफ एथिक्स एंड देयरफॉर देयर आर सर्टेन एग्जांपल्स. देन कम टू द सेकेंड पार्ट. Okay, in the second part now you are trying to make, although the religion is an important source of ethics, but everything that is said in the religion is not ethical. Anything and everything that is said in the ethics. So here you are trying to find out some of the things which is being carried out under the name of religion. Some customs, some traditional thing, some other things which are not so ethical in the contemporary context. So, somewhere, say for example, temple entry in case of women, So they are taking the help of religion and saying that women should not enter into the temple. There was a case of the Shani Shingnapur in Maharashtra, okay, or Sabrimala temple, yes. Haji Ali also, yes. In case of Sabrimala, there is a very curious case. There is something which is very different from rest of the temple entry. What is that? Huh? Yes, very good. There is a age limit. Okay. Specifically, not all women are prevented. Between 10 to 50. So before 10 you can enter, after 50 you can enter. Okay. Generally this is 15 to 45. There is a hint now. Okay. Because this is where the women in a menstrual cycle, she is active. Okay, reproductive age. This is a age of menarche, this is age of menopause. So something that physiological aspect of women has been linked into the, that is immoral aspect, or they say that there is a dissipation of energy of Lord Ayappa if the women enter. Yes, this is not something which I have invented. This is what the trustee says, that therefore the women of this category should not enter. Now, there have been beyond this, there were so many absurd statements. There was a campaign, you know, this Happy to Bleed campaign. Okay, आधे लोगों को तो पता नहीं चला Happy to Bleed क्या है. लोगों को लगा कि women will fighting till death and showing their blood. So Happy to Bleed is we will fight till our like those. Yes, that's not the thing. Happy to Bleed was obviously there is nothing, bad about the physiological aspect. This was on a Twitter Happy to Bleed campaign, very famous campaign. And the Supreme Court also has taken in cognizance of this, that उसके बाद trustee ने बोला कि okay, out of 30 days we will make them enter for 20 days, but science should invent the machine so as to scan if they are in the reproductive part or not. Now this is also level of absurdity. You can understand that the trust has said we need to scan a machine. Now this is where everything is justified. There are a group of people who are justifying that how this particular aspect is religious. So can you justify all such aspects? There is no rationality in it. पढ़ा है नहीं पढ़ा है ये ऐसी चीज है. Okay. Also they have said that Lord Ayappa is always without this. Whenever there is a contact with respect to female counterpart, there is always a trouble in it. But if you see, there are other temples of Lord Ayappa where the Lord Ayappa has been depicted with the women counterpart also. Okay, so these are the aspects. Temple entry है, फिर और कौन से है बताओ? Triple talaq वाला है, religious aspect with respect to this. In case of Jain, there is something called Santara. Yes, Salekha or Santara. What is that? हाँ, अरे मैं ये नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ. What is it? मतलब meaning नहीं. What are its moral issues with respect to the Santara? Okay. Huh? Right to life. Okay. Yes, one is right to life, or abatement to suicide. Right. Very good. So abatement to suicide, that somebody is forcing them to take the Santara forcibly. Okay. We are saying that, okay, this is a religious, therefore, let me tell what is Santara for rest of the others. Santara is a practice where a Jain person, okay, when he is in the end stage of his life, will go for the fast till his death. In fact, he was waiting for the death. Till the death, he will continue the fast. In fact, he will anticipate that death should come to him. Okay, so that is the practice of Santara, that food will not be given to him. Now, he, certainly, that he is accepting, that is what we are saying. This is a principle, but what is actually happening, we are discussing about it. Yes, it is not forcefully, but what is happening, we are discussing about it. What is actually the situation, what the misuse has happened in many of the cases because of the property and a will. Are you understanding? If think for an example, there are issues of property and a will, or maybe there is a financial financial problems with respect to the family, if somebody is not feeling well or having a chronic illness, there was a person who has filed up the petition against this in Rajasthan High Court. So the Rajasthan High Court has said that Santara practice should go. Okay, because what they have said is Santara is not so called, yes, essential religious practice under the Article 25. It means that there are certain practices, even if they will not be there, nothing will happen to the religion or the core aspect of religion. So generally what happens, whether it is the temple entry movement or the Santara or any kind of religious practice, okay, when it is questioned against the fundamental rights, Supreme Court go into the detailing of this particular practice and say that whether this practice is essential aspect of religion or not. This is called doctrine of essential religious practice. So something which is not essential religious practice, the court will say that even if it will not exist, nothing will happen to the core philosophy or core faith of religion. So Rajasthan High Court has said that, okay, this is not an essential religious practice. That is one thing. And second is there are more problems because right to life has been equated with, in this case, that is a suicide or maybe abetment to suicide. Most of the time it has been misused. Also, the Santara case does not bringing the natural death to the person. Okay, that is right to life. Right to life, in which we say that there should be right to life. So unless and until there is a natural death, any other death is, or particularly in this way, that is a wrong and immoral. Now, there was a lot of hue and cry in Rajasthan when this verdict has came. It was challenged in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has put the stay on the order. The Supreme Court will say that we will see that what part of the religious practices but it really belongs to or not. So as of now, there is a stay on this particular thing. But what we are trying to analyze is that there are certain practices which may be a part of rituals and which have certain moral implications. Moral implications were there that sometimes they are being forced to take up the things. Forced to, in a sense, that for the some immoral grounds. Immoral grounds is they want to go with the property and the will, and these are the other aspects. Like in case of a euthanasia also, you see, still euthanasia case cannot be equated to Sansara because in euthanasia still the person is almost died. Okay, there is something called as permanent vegetative state. Permanent vegetative state, and there is the doctors and all his physical parameters or the medical parameters convince us that there is no bringing back of his proactive life. So therefore, in order to relieve the patient from the excruciating pain, we give the euthanasia. But still there are equal number of problems because there is always a possibility between the nexus of doctors and the family members, because again there are cases of will and property and etc. and therefore there is a lot of harm. Therefore, the Supreme Court has said that passive euthanasia is fine, but active euthanasia cannot be given because the India has not, there is a lot of moral degradation of the society, and you never know that active euthanasia will be carried out in order to murder someone, okay, for the unethical purpose, okay. Not all doctors are bad, but that thing is there, okay. So, yeah, you have to like see the almost the other parts of the story also, because sometimes this nexus exists and that has happened. Anyways, let's come back to this Santara and this. Just to mention that in some cases that whatever the religious cannot be ethical. Okay, triple talaq, temple entry, you have even untouchability, which was once a part of the Hindu religion, okay, under the fold of Hindu religion, Sati Prata. So obviously 2-3 things have gone, but some more things are there. Cow vigilante, okay, so this kind of a thing. Now come to the third part, the next part or the third part. In the third part, you have to see, even when there are certain good principles, but they are being misinterpreted and misused. Okay, this is basically, religion is a source of ethics. In fact, this is the part, first part, but these are misinterpreted, misrepresented, and misused. In today's time, religion is used for the communalism, okay, communal sentiments. Okay, religion has been converted into not just religious, but the communal sentiments, like mobilization of masses on the basis of communal values. Okay, here there is a case of religious fundamentalism. Okay, the misuse of religion, religious fundamentalism, and how some of the people from religion, okay, people who are having the vested interest in a particular religion, okay, these people are mobilizing the masses, and the phenomena of religious extremism, religious fundamentalism, okay, so this has created a lot of problem for the society. Now, this gets converted into maybe the communal violence at times also. There are various issues here, okay, right from the terrorism also, like in case of you see that the Islamic fundamentalism, okay, that is particularly related with this ideology. But then it's not just about the Islam, you will find the right wings in all the religion, okay, right wings, particularly this cow vigilante, these are the right extremist elements within the this so-called Hindutva ideology. Okay, so these are also, there is a misuse of the religion for the wrong purpose in order to create a communal disharmony in the society. So what is the point in the last? That religion per se is not a wrong, but some of the group of people who have the vested interest are misusing or using the religion for the wrong purpose. That's the idea here. Okay. And therefore you can see that what is important, or here also you can talk about the intolerance, religious intolerance, communal violence, religious fundamentalism, all those aspects. Religious intolerance के काफी सारे examples है again in present times. Yes, religious intolerance की क्या क्या है? Beef ban, cow vigilante, और कुछ है क्या contemporary time में? Love jihad, okay? That's also where the vested group of people are channelizing the group of both the religion against each other. Or Dadri lynching. Okay, that is a particular example. Larger part of this beef. हाँ, भारत माता भी है related है. बताओ हमें थोड़ा सा एनलाइटन करो, आपके व्यूज क्या है भारत माता के ऊपर? सर्टेनली है, लाइक पुटिंग, यस बताइए, आप बताइए. यस, इम्पोजिंग समथिंग इज यस नॉट गुड. स्लोगन्स है, स्लोगन there is nowhere it is written that जैसे जनगण मन is a national song, okay, sorry, national anthem. National song is written, national anthem is written, national flag is written. So what is written, you have to abide by it. But what is not written, you cannot impose it on the others. And if you at all want that it brings a nationalistic sentiments, then you should go and convince them that how it brings the nationalistic sentiments. And through the convincing, if they are agree to it, then that is fine. In fact, misuse of the religion, again, the dress codes, that's also a point there. Like the people or the orthodox people or the conservative people, particularly the religious heads are releasing the diktats. Okay, what should be the length of skirt? Okay, how much should they wear? Where should they venture? Where should they not venture? Etc. etc. So this religious diktats also, where we see the religious as a tool. So this is the idea with respect to. So the point is, whenever such question comes from the part of socialization, you should balance, like in itself, what are the good points, what are the bad points, what should be the way forward, what should be the concluding remark. So do not write off any debate, that this is bad or this is good. Be balanced, try and understand the things in a very rational manner. You will find a good number of things. That's why I said in the first class, preparation mein hi, you need to get out of your prejudices. Okay, you need to be a very, very rational enough in understanding there are good points in all the religion, there are bad things in all religion. Okay, you have to come up with this. Now next is religion. Okay, khatam ho gaya kya reh gaya? Media. Okay, yes, media. That's right, media. What do you think about the media and its role in ethics and inculcation of values? Education of, okay, okay, right, write some of the things, like it is called as the fourth pillar of democracy. Media is called as the fourth pillar of democracy. It's a mirror of society. It's a neutral umpire of society. It is the most important organ of democracy. Mirror of society, neutral umpire of society. Third umpire. तीसरी आंख, ओके. दैट वे मुझे नहीं, मुझे लगा कि ये जो फोर्थ पिलर है तो ये कह रहे हैं कि थर्ड पिलर है, फोर्थ नहीं है. ओके ओके. यस. व्हाट आर द थ्री अदर पिलर्स? हाँ, ओके. लोगों को पता नहीं है इसको फोर्थ नंबर क्यों दे रहे हैं. हाँ, व्हाट आर द अदर पिलर्स? ओके, यस. This is just some of the catchy adjectives just to introduce. You can use it in essay, you can use it. बहुत ज़्यादा भी ऐसे नहीं है कि पढ़ के कि कोटेशन आए बस वही कर दो और कुछ सब्सटेंस ही नहीं लिख रहे हो आंसर में. ठीक है. There is fourth pillar, third eye, second this, first this. Okay. Yes. This is just to introduce the importance. Then you speak about some of the positive aspect and how the values are inculcated. In fact, it is a very good thing for the education of masses. Education of masses. Creating the awareness. Now, education of the masses, various things can be written here, particularly during the political education of the masses during the time of election. Okay, what is model code of conduct? Okay, what are the agendas of different political parties? What is common minimum program of different political parties? So the education of the masses in various sense, creating the awareness on different social issues, national issues, international issues, information. Okay, broadly. Also providing the social justice or justice by and large. What points you can include here, social justice mein?
Like so, someone may take a case
हाँ,
and make it this Nirvaya case also.
हाँ.
Media has a awesome role to play.
Okay, awesome, एकदम. Yes, use, yes, that's fine, but
Very enthusiastic also.
enthusiastic, okay. ठीक है. Yes, certainly, that point is.
But there the page was also communicating to the world. So
Certainly. Yes, you can give some of the ignored, not highlighted areas where the government is trying to cover up the cases, where the media has gone, investigative journalism. Everything is not wrong about investigative journalism. Everything I'm saying. It means that there is something wrong also. Like a classical case is a case of Arushi murder and how the media has played its part. But then you have the Jessica Lal murder case also, where the media has played a very constructive part. Okay, so identify some part here where the justice is delivered. Again, these are not just the legal cases we are talking about. We can mention about some social evils which have not been taken by the government or the parliamentarians, but then they have been highlighted, and there is a lot of hue and cry over such issues, and then the government was forced to take up the decision, some other decision. Okay, so the role of media in providing. So that's why we see that again. One more important, making the government accountable. Okay, this is very important. Making the government accountable. Making the government accountable because there are lot many promises made by the government, and most of the times we do not see that a certain action has been taken on them. So whatever the common minimum agenda that was there before the election, so media will investigate, media will make it a point that government should be accountable to the promises made. Achhe din, okay. So where are the achhe din if somebody is asking? So obviously, it's like making the government accountable. Okay, so whatever the decisions they take, making the government accountable towards the public and the public interest. ओके 15 लाख किसके अकाउंट में जमा हुए हैं? 10 लाख या 15 लाख, पता नहीं कितने होने थे. हाँ, 15 lakh. How many of you have really received? Okay. That point is no more relevant because Amit Shah said that it was a jumla. Okay. So even we cannot make them accountable because they have already come up with you are not supposed to. Okay. Government accountability, that's why, see, when we are writing, it is a fourth pillar of democracy. One of the point of democracy is the rule of law. Rule of law में ये है कि there are people who will be ruling. Okay, and ruling class should rule in the interest of people. So whenever they go out of the rule of law, there has to be someone to place their accountability that you are moving out of the rule of law. That is called as constitutionalism or the limited government doctrine or rule of law. So nobody is absolute when there is a constitution and when there is a legal law. Rule of law says that law is absolute or the constitution is final arbiter. It is not the ruling class. Are you understanding? That's why there is a lot of role for the media. This is all the more important in contemporary time because we have seen that independent institutions of democracy, okay, such as what are the independent institutional mechanisms that are functioning in India, which makes the government accountable. Yes, CAG है और लोकपाल, लोकायुक्ता, CVC, Election Commission, CBI. Okay, these are the independent institutions. You see that there is a lot of problem with independent institution. National Human Rights Commission, CBI, CVC, Lokpal. None of the institutions are functioning because they becomes the appendages in the hands of the government of the day. There is nothing about this NDA government is good or UPA. Each one of the government, whoever comes into the power, okay, it becomes an extending hand. Okay, so someone who is supposed to regulate the function of the government, okay, has become a part of government, and therefore we do not see that independent institutions are functioning in India. There is a lot of problem with independent functioning of these institutions. In this context, the role of media becomes all the more important. But again, we have seen, like, we'll see the other side of the story, what is happening. So, बताइए क्या मतलब how the negative aspect. Yes, sensationalization is one thing, or paid news. Yes, very good. So, see, there is something called as ethics in journalism, or ethical journalism, or ethics in journalism. There are certain points that whenever you are presenting the news, it should be objective, it should be impartial, it should be based upon evidence, facts, and figures. There should be decency in presentation. There should be right of privacy of anyone should not be threatened. Depiction of this slain bodies or the one who died and etc. Mutilated bodies and all such things should not. There should not be representation of such things. Okay, so there is a lot of responsible role: objectivity, impartiality, evidence-based news, decency in presentation of the news, privacy of individual. Okay, क्या बोल रहे? Media trials, okay. Media trials is phenomena, okay. Here we are talking about values. Now, yes, one of the truth, obviously, the first one is truth. In fact, this was a function of evidences, okay, whatever you are speaking. So you should be very impartial, objective, and evidence-based. We will come to media trial, okay. So now, what are the problems? This was what they're supposed to do, but because of the growth of some of the phenomena in recent time, we see that there is a moral degradation or ethical degradation of journalism in India. So the phenomena like paid news, I'll explain first, right? Then commercialization of media, sensationalization of media, or sensationalization of news items. Sensationalization of news items. Then yes, media trial. Media trial. Okay, yes. You have told media trial in this category or that category? कहाँ पे? Negative? Negative, obviously. So here, media trial. Let's now see what is the accurate meaning of them. Paid news. Paid news. See, for example, you have opened the newspaper. In the newspaper, there will be a column of advertisement. In an advertisement, you can understand this is advertisement. You know that somebody must have paid for it. Somebody is advertising for it. Okay, somebody is promoting this, branding this, marketing this. You understand that. But when you read the news, you feel that now this is a neutral point, and this is something which is informative for me, and this is something will generate the rationality in me. Paid news is, even that news is not neutral. Okay, it's not an advertisement. It is advertisement in the form of news. So what you are actually reading news is not a neutral news, but there is someone behind it who is paying for it. So some sort of like जो बोलते हैं ना public opinion is formed in a particular direction. Are you understanding? So where is the question of impartiality and objectivity? There is no objectivity and impartiality in the presentation of the news. It's a paid news. It's nothing but a surrogate advertisement. Surrogate matlab in the form of the news, they are actually promoting the advertisement. So this is the unethical journalism, or you can say that the moral degradation. That is about the paid news. Another very famous case, Maharashtra Chief Minister was, from there this term has came into, Ashok Chavan, no, not Fadnavis, there was Ashok Chavan, and during the time of election rally, he has given some news items, okay? Ashok Chavan ने कल इतना अच्छा काम किया, उतना अच्छा काम किया, ये यहाँ पे चले गए, वहाँ पे चले गए, इन्होंने ये किया, वो किया, और same exact copies are in 10 different news. मतलब सबके editorial एक ही है क्या? मतलब लिखने वाले ऐसे नहीं है. It shows that same wording, same news, same column, same atom is there in all the news. It means that there is someone who has spread the news and somewhere it is collecting from. This has become a very, very important issue in democracy, particularly with regard to the media, and therefore we have seen that objectivity and impartiality is not observed. Next is commercialization of the media. What is this commercialization of media? What is this term? Yes, that is because of what? Yes, certainly. What is an impact of it? Ownership, say? Bias is one. One is bias. Second is that is materialistic and monetary gain. Okay. Here you are coming up with the media not for as a part of journalism but for earning the money. Okay. Monetary and materialistic benefits has taken an upper hand over the ethical journalism. Okay. Through the use of media you are earning money. Okay. That is because commercial houses now are owning the media. Therefore, earning money, and therefore, how to earn money? TRP. Okay. Now, TRP, everybody is running behind the TRP because more there is a TRP, more will be the financial incentives and financial benefits. So, there is a utter commercialization of media. This is reflected in running behind the TRP, and therefore, there is a moral degradation. That certainly there are houses now. So, for example, IBN 7, okay, network has been now taken over by the Network 7, that is Ambani Group, okay. So, obviously, they have directly the link. That's why the this person has to go from IBN 7 to India TV. Rajdeep Sardesai, yes, I'm talking about him. Rajdeep Sardesai was kicked out, you can say that, okay. Obviously, for the simple reason, when he was there in CNN IBN, obviously he will play the stories, how the Reliance is not drilling the oil in KG Basin, how it is occurring 1,000 crores of loss per day to the country. Now, can you see this news coming into the IBN network? It will never come because certainly the media houses are obviously trying to curb these voices. Sensationalization of media, हाँ दिखाएंगे ही नहीं बराबर है आपके पास बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन रहती है खुफिया आईबी में जाना चाहते हो क्या नहीं that's good it was a compliment, take it as a compliment. Okay, sensationalization of media, yes, absolutely, there are many media houses, बहुत सारे pages है आप कभी डाल के देखो, that is there are news media barons जिसको बोलते हैं, who is the worldwide recognized as a the one who is holding the, हाँ, Rupert Murdoch, उसके ऊपर बहुत अच्छी documentary है. If you put in this YouTube, you will see that how the media houses are operating. Okay, there is a very larger syndicate, how the news are framed, how the news are being put into the masses. So everything is managed. Okay, so those people who are at the upper side of the pyramid, they manipulate the public opinion. Okay. Anyway, so that's in fact, you see that there are party cells. Okay, these days, these party cells manipulate all the news items. Okay, so we are more forced to what we want to read. It is based upon what they want to show. Okay, so these are the aspects. Sensationalization of news. What is this sensationalization? Again, this has to be seen from the context of TRP. How the TRP, unless and until you make it spicy. Okay, so make it spicy and people will see it. Yes, buy it, obviously. Sensationalization of news item. In fact, it has not only repercussions on the commercialization, but also on the value system, instigating the minds of the public in a wrong way, in a sense that this is a classical case, this Muzaffarnagar riot. Okay, this was a local fight in between the two families, and then the media started showing the clip again and again. Okay, and then it is causing in trouble. क्या हो गया था? Huh? Yes? अच्छा, हाँ, कौन सा चैनल है? ये वारदात 10 बजे कहीं मत जाइए वाला. हाँ, वो एक है. ओके, ऐसे, हाँ, यही है वो आदमी वाला, टेररिज्म वाला. Okay, anyway, so that's a sensationalization of news. मतलब he will try to invoke adrenaline in you. अरे कुछ हुआ ही है, मतलब अब जाइएगा नहीं, मतलब आप मार ही देगा जाइएगा तो आप आपने न्यूज चैनल बंद कर दिया तो मर ही जाओगे आप. Yes, sensationalization of news item. At times obscene content are shown. Okay, yes, privacy is not maintained, obscene contents are shown. Okay, there are a lot many things to make them spicy. It has a negative implications because it instigates the communal sentiments in otherwise a very in otherwise normal people. Okay, so that has the role. Media trial, this is again a new phenomena, something like paid news, but media trial, particularly this case of Arushi. Yes, certainly an Arushi. कौन सा? This is a case of Shashi Tharoor and her wife, his wife. Okay, Sunanda Pushkar. Media trial, obviously. Arnav Goswami was shouting to his death that to prove that yes, Dr. Tharoor was some other way responsible for the Tharoors. Absolutely, matlab, these are the things. Umar Khalid. Okay, to prove that he is a terrorist. Okay, there are so many, like Arnav Goswami every day, come on, matlab, there is no day. Otherwise, yes, that is why he is being provided vice security in order to protect the national conscience, because he represents the national conscience. And people are thinking that providing the vice security is not for Arnav per se, but protecting the voice of the nation. Okay, those people who are supporting, obviously, there is a sarcasm in it. Okay, people are saying that it is like a protection of voice of nation. How can you curb the voice of nation? We need in protection, therefore, voice security has to be provided to him. Okay, anyway, so that's a media trial. Yes, this phenomena, see, whenever you are writing, do not write much on it. You have to link this with this ethical standards. Okay? Yes, certainly you can give. See, the point only here is, so sensational means what? Something which you are visiting with the truth and the fact. See, this is not a cinema, this is not an entertainment. So that is why, when you don't know, how can you pass the judgment? That is what we are saying. When, see, providing the facts, figures, and some other information is fine. We are not discussing that you should not discuss about it. Yes, there is a role of awareness, there is a role of education, there is a role of social justice. So certainly you can help and put the facts and figures into the public domain. Also, some other thing which can help the judiciary in dispensing the justice, you can also help. But before the judiciary is passing the statement, you give the final verdict on a particular issue is not something which goes with the ethical journalism. We're talking about passing the final verdict on a subject. Understood? Yes, we are not talking about anything and everything should be stopped. Obviously, again, that will be a sort of banning. Okay, banning culture has evolved, so that is not a correct idea here. We are talking about these points. Anything which can be permissible within this framework is justified. Now, conclude in saying that what we can do is something called as self-regulation, they say. But believe me, self-regulation is no regulation, basically. You need to come up with strong regulatory bodies. Maybe, what happened? Huh? Is there any additional point you want to add? हाँ हाँ बताइए. न्यूज़ फैब्रिकेशन, हाँ ठीक है, न्यूज़ फैब्रिकेशन भी लिखो. Threatening the national security. Threat to national security. हाँ, yes, obviously, sensationalizing का ही पार्ट है वो, जो 26/11 में जो दिखाया गया था लाइव, okay, live, that is what is happening in the Taj Hotel. क्या हो गया? What happened? earthquake हुआ है, क्या हो गया? कुछ नहीं हुआ है. Okay. अरे हाँ, let me speak now. 26/11 में जो था, obviously there was again a question on sense of ethical journalism because the live telecasting of what was happening during the time of 26/11 attack, that has compromised the national security. Okay, we have seen the things like यहाँ पे बरखादत बोल रही है कि हाँ अभी लोग यहाँ पे आगे हैं, अभी पुलिस इसमें है, पुलिस उसमें है, तो वहाँ पे जो है लश्कर तोयबा का जो कमांडेंट है जकीउल रहमान लकवी, ओके, वहाँ पे गाइडलाइन दे रहा है, ओके आप मत जाइए, यहाँ पे दिख रहा है एनडीटीवी के ऊपर, इधर इधर ये दिखा रहा है. ओके, सो दे डू नॉट रिक्वायर द सैटेलाइट कैमरास बिकॉज स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आपकी आंखों के सामने दिख रहा है कि कहाँ पे पुलिस खड़ी है, कहाँ पे वो है, कहाँ पे डिपार्टमेंट्स है. सो ऑब्वियसली these aspects have compromised. Why was existing? Because sensationalization and TRPs. Okay, the more you intrude into the house of someone, the more TRP you will get. So obviously they are going to some controversial statement, some controversial aspect. Anyways, concluding remark was that you have to come up with certain sort of regulation. Regulation for the simple purpose that what is the points of ethical journalism, those points should be upholded. Those points should be upholded because again you can come to the importance. Media has a important role to play in the democracy. Media should be responsible. Now there can be debate about it. Can the parliament come up with certain body? So it should not, because once the government start having a regulatory body and say, most of the times things getting compromised. We have seen that independent bodies, which are the parts of government, has not functioned well in India, and most of the times it have compromised the aspect of independent authorities, freedom of speech and expression. So what is important is that news wale log jo hai, they should come together and form a newspaper guild, and there should be more power to them. We have PCI, that is a Press Council of India, but Press Council of India really don't have much of the power. We need to increase the power of Press Council of India. We haven't seen the cases when the fabricated news has been shown. It was proven also that the news was wrong, and still nothing has happened. Because there is no accountability for wrong that has been shown. You can think of, there is a G News channel, there is a person called Sudhir Chaudhary. Okay? पता नहीं चलता यार न्यूज़ चल रहा है कि what they are trying to display. Okay, the India TV या क्या नाम है उनका, ये NDTV ने, आज तक वाले, हाँ रजित शर्मा वाला थे. पहले लगता था आपकी अदालत मतलब हाँ हमारा ही लॉयर है. Okay, there is a attitude formation भी होता है ना बचपन से, कि आपकी अदालत देख देख के लगता है कि ये हर एक को बहुत डिफिकल्ट सवाल पूछता है. He represents the voice of public. एक पर्सपेक्टिव रहता है. बाद में बड़े होके पता चलता है कि सब मिले हुए हैं. ओके Yeah, that's true, because at least in the contemporary sense, we see that there's a lot of connection. That's why I'm saying that please see the documentary. I'll post somewhere like in some part of time, because you may not find it on a YouTube, but it's exceptionally good documentary, I would say. And you will understand that what is the sort of unethical practices that is existing in journalism. Huh? No, not with the Rupert Murdoch. There is another documentary also. Okay. यस दैट्स द पॉइंट द लास्ट थोड़े से और मीडिया में ये जो हमने पॉइंट्स लगाए ये सभी मास मीडिया के पॉइंट है बट वन और टू स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट्स यू कैन राइट अबाउट एडवर्टाइजमेंट 2-2 मिनट में लिख लो these points positive points will be common to all mass media okay sensationalization commercialization or maybe media trial paid news will not apply advertisement में क्या problems है how the values are inculcated good, bad. Mostly, what is wrong with the advertisements? Yes, depiction of women. Obviously. Product advertisement is not. There is a problem if what you are claiming is not true. Obviously, there is a problem. There is a fraud. That is unethical advertisement. But something which is there. Branding is not at all wrong. Something you are claiming, what you actually hold. मतलब जो product है. Publication of something, marketing of something is not wrong, but the manner in which you are publicizing, okay, branding, there can be a trouble when there is a gap in between what you claim and what you actually have. That is the one thing. Second, stereotyping of women. Yes, stereotyping of women. क्या है example इसका stereotyping of women? हाँ एड्स ऑफ कार यहाँ पे छोटी दिख रही है एंड मॉडल ऐसे बड़ी है आगे ओके मतलब शी इज डांसिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ द कार सो पीपल आर थिंकिंग इफ आई बाय द कार it's illogical absolutely yes that is basically called as commodification and objectification of women कार नहीं है डिओड्रेंट भी बाय करके आते हो तो आपको लगता है कि हाँ समथिंग इज गोइंग टू चेंज यस एक साइड देखा है क्या women are flocking around the male okay that nothing going happen this way okay so yes that is called as objectification and commodification of women objectification and commodification of women objectification and commodification is like you are reducing the women into an commodity and an object stereotyping the role of female is different stereotyping the role of female is women is shown like हमेशा वो चाय बना रही है किचन में ओके और हस्बैंड जो है बाहर इधर उधर घूम रहा है मोटरसाइकिल पे जा रहा है इट मींस दैट वुमेन इज सपोज टू बी देयर विद इन द 4 वॉल्स ऑफ हाउस चाय बनाते रहो आप दैट्स अ स्टीरियोटाइपिंग द रोल ऑफ द वुमेन देयर आर अदर स्टीरियोटाइप्स आल्सो यस व्हाट एल्स हाँ yes that is a fair and lovely wala ad that is a stereotyping of beautification okay stereotyping of beautification that beauty has to do something with the color of the skin and the fair and lovely proves that you can pair okay with application of some of the products and therefore you can beautify. There is a Kangana Ranawat who has flatly rejected the offer of Fair and Lovely. Okay, and she said that she does not believe in this idea that skin of the color should be related with the beauty of the women. But there was a Yami Gautami something, okay, who has went on and accepted the product. There's a lot many issues. Anyways, but that's a very very important issue. Fair and Lovely. Many of the women activists. There is a person. Called Nandita Das, who is heading the campaign. Okay, Black is Beautiful wala campaign hai. That is about the Nandita Das. So these are the stereotyping, commodification, objectification. These are the all parts of advertisement. Right. The next one, that is cinema and the music. Cinema and the music. Positive you can write well. Just write some of the negative examples. Negative, Honey Singh, yes, Honey Singh. Okay. Yes, I cannot state the lyrics from this platform. Okay. बाकी के थोड़ा बता तो पा रहा हूँ. हनी सिंह का तो बता ही नहीं पाऊंगा यहाँ पे. It will be so unethical. Again, that stereotyping of women, commodification of women. with respect to, you think of other moral aspects that we see. Drinking is bad. Here he will say that 4-bottle vodka, and pata nahi. Yes. So the point is, government is introducing de-addiction campaign, and this Honey Singh is saying the 4-bottle vodka is fine. Okay, and that's the. There is Neha Kakkar. Okay, he has a Manali trance song. Okay, have you heard of it? So you can think like, how will a de-addiction campaign is going to be succeed? And mass media obviously having a larger influence. What is the government? Government do not create a very entertaining ad. We'll see in the chapter called persuasion. Okay, in persuasion, all this mass media and this, they have a tremendous role to play. Okay, therefore this go haywire, that government is on one side, and then this part of the cinema and the music has a larger impact on it. Again, gag and banning is not the solution. Okay, it's only the some part in censorship. See, it's not a direction to the Neha Kakkar and this Honey Singh, because it's partly a reflection of the society. Okay, it is basically the reflection of society, that society's test has changed now. Society is more pro for, yes, we all are hypocrites. Okay, we will listen to the songs of Honey Singh, no doubt about it. But no doubt, मतलब एक बता रहा हूँ मैं, train बता रहा हूँ. I'm just speaking a train. In fact, in case of 2012 का एक क्वेश्चन पेपर है, इंग्लिश सब्जेक्ट का पेपर्स, एक वो रहता है ना ऑप्शनल पेपर्स एंड देन कंपलसरी पेपर्स. कंपलसरी इंग्लिश पेपर में पहला ऐसे था, ऑल इंडियंस आर हिपोक्रेट्स. दैट वाज द फर्स्ट ऐसे, कंपलसरी ऐसे था. सो यू कैन इमेजिन, मतलब द वन हु वाज फ्रेमिंग, एंड देयर वाज नो क्वेश्चन कि आर दे हिपोक्रेट्स, ऐसे नहीं पूछा था. ऑल आर हिपोक्रेट्स, स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड, right on it. So these are the cases where we see that we preach a lot, but there is a gap in between what we preach and what we practice. Okay, that's also a part of ethics. That is, we are not a man of integrity. Okay, ethics has become a matter of convenience. That what the Albert Einstein has said. It's more of a relativity. It is going towards relativity. It should be an absolute in nature. Anyway, so that's about the part in case of cinema and music. You can write the positive aspect or mass media. बाकी कौन सा रह गया था? That's it. So, in case of idols, and this will continue tomorrow. In fact, we have concluded almost the first chapter. Only the dimensions of ethics is remaining. We'll do it tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much.